All right. I want to talk to you guys. I gave a pretty scathing video yesterday while Joe was doing a little portion of the work that he does. And I want to clarify some of the things that I said. Number one, what was I talking about? I was talking about boxing psychology, being able to look, being able to know who's in it, whose heart's in it, who's not, who's maybe got in over their head and doesn't want to or cannot function from within the sport. Those whom uh, are falsely propped in their own heads and their own hearts, whom, when come upon greater adversity, fold or uh, excuse make. And this could go into people that'll be bold in the stand, in their stand, and lose as well. You, there are hundreds of things that go into the psychology of the fight game. Now, who am I? I've been in and out of boxing since the late 60s, early 70s, I'll say. Uh, been around the block a few times, got to meet and work with the likes of people, and had a over 30 year relationship with Ernie Shavers. Got to work around people such as Big John Tate, Ace Miller, his trainer. John Tate was the former WBA heavyweight champion of the world, and many, many other people. Many other people. Well, so I know a thing or two about the psychology of this thing. Now, lump on top of that, I also come from a family of Major League Baseball players, not minor league baseball players, uh, Major League Baseball players. So it was instilled in me uh, early on in life fight, to stand. Some of the best feelings I've got in my life. One of the I'll mention two of them. One of them I frequently mention, but I'm going to go with the one I don't mention and proceed by the one I do talk about a lot, because the one, uh, anyway, here goes. The younger experiences like anybody else, normal experiences. Maybe not today, but back in my day would have been normal experiences. I wasn't the biggest kid in school, but I wasn't the smallest. Somewhere in the middle there in elementary school. Now, I was living, when I first started going to school, schools were not segregated, they were desegregated. And then they desegregated the schools, and we were going to schools, everybody was going together. Uh, Probably fourth, fifth grade, uh, a lot of the little black kids were, because they come from violence. Don't know how to say this. It's the honest to God's truth. They're violent, or they were then. Um, they and back in this day, they had daddy in the house. Black people did, just like white people did. The folks had daddy in the house. So these we were raised by men, not effeminate men either, like you got today. So anyway, I remember faintly, and I had 2 or 3 of these situations, and maybe you've had them over the years. You got a kid in the class, he's bullying on the other guys. Well, in the 5th grade, I took on 2 of them, 2 black guys, because they were bullying on everybody else in the class. Teacher come and told me, when you get out there, you need not cower down and beat the crap out of these boys. If you just pound one of them one time, the other one's going to back down, guarantee you. And you're not going to get in trouble, the teacher told me. So we go out this recess, we're out there. Bam, did a bam, did a bam, did a bam. The one goes down. The other, just like she had told me, folded quick. And I was worked up, so I chased him down, got him on the ground, and beat the living crap out of that kid. And just annihilated them with little to nothing, and that showed me the courage there. They were bigger than me. They were more muscular than me. They had that attitude I didn't necessarily have, but I started learning to carry that attitude after that. Second thing I want to tell you is bringing in a 108 to 10 pound boy soaking wet. Put him up against 3 of his bullies that were bullying him in the neighborhood. I coaxed the guy, the kid that was getting bullied, told him Joe was going to beat up his bullies, and we coaxed them to the bullies to the gym. We got them up in there, and I told the little kid that was getting beat up, after I worked with him a month or so, I said, get your ass out there and beat these 3 guys up. And he did. He did. It was put on the spot. He rose to the occasion. He rose to the occasion. He saw something that was bigger, stronger, faster, meaner, more manly, and he let his fear drive the day for him and used it to his advantage, and it worked perfectly. It worked perfectly. I've seen this over many, many decades happen time and time and time again, generation and generation and generation. But something's going on today. It's a lacking generation. It's a generation where weakness is rewarded, where half-ass participation is rewarded and codified. And it has bled into the National Football League. I'm not even going to mention soccer. Number one, in my day, girls only played it in the United States. I look at it as an effeminate sport, and I will continue to do so. There you have it. If that offends you, so be it. I have a right to know what I see, as you have a right to think about what you're seeing. Am I telling anybody don't enjoy soccer? No, I'm not. I'm just telling the truth. To my day, that was the effeminate sport. It was for sissies. And I can remember my last year in high school, them bringing in and starting a soccer team. And we were laughing our asses off about it. We were like, what the heck? And true to form, all the little sissies went to play the soccer. So, it is what it is. It is what it is. So about the only sport you got in your country. No offense to you. But there again, I would say, you know what? maybe drive to get some more manly sport in your country. That's it. Don't mean to offend you, but if you are offended, it's deal with it and roll with it. Now, you got to be careful. What you replace, whatever you have that you don't want or is not working, you got to be careful what you replace it with. I'll give you an example here, a world example. You know, we all get into World War One. We knock out the monarchy system in Europe. What do we replace it with? Hitler, Mussolini, and Stalin. You got to be careful what you replace something with. You got to be damned careful. Because in the fight game, in the growth game, it doesn't necessarily have to be the fight game. It could be your personal growth as a young fella coming up. You got to be real methodical and very thoughtful in what you intend to replace something with. There's only two people on the battlefield in the foxhole. There is the coward and the hero. And there's no fundamental difference about them, no bodily difference about them, nearly whatsoever beyond normal body differences. What's different is the heart and the conscious decision that the hero makes to come up out of that foxhole and be the hero. And the coward chooses not to make that decision. He stays put and does nothing. That's the fundamental difference there. So you've got to be careful if you are going to become the stronger, become the alpha, become the hero, become the fighter that you want to be. You have to be careful replacing nothing or badness or cowardice with heroship, determination, and drive. You've got to be very careful in what you replace these things with. I'm going to give you an example. This is something else that I want to talk about. Around here, Eddie Futch is our favorite historical trainer. Eddie Futch, you know, you guys don't fight nothing like, no, Joe doesn't. See, Joe doesn't. You would be right. But I know different ways. More than one way to skin a cat. See, Joe's got a lot of Futch teachings in his toolbox, stylistic wise, to be able to pull out of the tool chest on the fly just like that. Just like that. Now, it was an amazing thing with Futch. He would go in, he would take a young guy. Typically, it would be a good boxer, good fighter, good slugger, combination of those things, or possess singular things in singularity. But Eddie had Muhammad Ali's number. Eddie Futch had anybody's number because he had the God-given ability to sit back and look an eye and know what he was seeing and adjust somebody to what the other guy does or would do. And strange thing about Eddie Futch, people would go get him. He was the most in-demand trainer for a good while in the 70s, 60s even, 80s. They even had him out there in the 90s. But a guy would go get Eddie Futch, the great Eddie Futch, to get to and win a championship. Or maybe they go out there and get the great Eddie Futch because they see a hang up that they have with another guy. They're like, I can't beat this guy. I best go get Eddie. And they would go get Eddie. And Eddie would come in, and Eddie Futch would get a guy to a championship, have a guy win a championship, defend a championship, then lo and behold, they'd let Eddie go. They'd let him go. He's probably the most let go, the most hired by champions, and the most let go quickly by champions. You want to know why? Eddie didn't take no shit. And take zero shit taking tolerance policy. And that's what I do. Zero. I, with the younger kids, and y'all have seen it, you go back and look at the history of our videos, you'll see where I've had problems and things like that. Maybe I'm like, oh, this guy's did this today, but I'm going to get him corrected. We're going to do this. Got a problem with this little shit over here. But we're going to bang it out of him or whatever. You know, a whole host of problems. It's always problems everywhere you go. If you don't have problems everywhere you're going, you're not doing good enough. Because if you're waltzing through and you ain't got problems where you go, you're either subservient to everybody or you just ain't no good and don't nobody care to bother otherwise molest on you or get under your skin. They don't care. Why would they? You know, you ain't got nothing going on, and it would give you the time of day. But when you got it going on and you shooting up like that ship, they'll get every damn thing and everybody will get in your way because Satan will demonically work through these people to try to poke and press your buttons constantly. And it happens to all the good ones. It happens to all the great ones. And the thing is here, you have to push through, keep going. That one day, Joe got the floor mopped up with his ass. I mean, it was bad. I filmed it. I got that on camera. This kid beat the shit out of Joe and took Joe into shallow waters and drowned him. He did what we do to people. You know, you get the big old jaws shark and you take the shark towards the shallows, towards the shore, and you drown them. That's what we do. That's what we do. And Joe had it done. We had it done to us. Now, did we quit? I raised hell over that for a good month of Sundays. I was so angered about that. We took that, we kept going, and that'll never happen again. Maybe it will, but it won't be in the same way. Everybody gets beat. You have got to stand up to the occasion, develop the heart and the backbone to be able to handle an ass whooping. And if you can't do that, you don't need to be boxing. You have got to be prepared to go get in a face-off, get in the lineup and look at the guy across from you and say, oh my, what have I got myself into? What in the world is going to happen to me? What wicked my way is coming? And you internalize that and you overcome it. And you use that fear, and that fear will make you move faster, hit harder, and all the technique in the world. You can have all the technique in the world, and if your psychology ain't right and you can't not overcome the fear, but harness it and use it effectively, this ain't the place. Boxing ain't for you. MMA ain't for you. Combat sport ain't for you. Muay Thai, bare knuckle, and on the things I ain't listing here. You have got to be able to overcome that. You'll run up on crazy people that literally don't have fear. There's something inside of them that ain't quite normal to the rest of the pack, that they just don't have no fear. You're gonna run into some guys that they enjoy getting hit. They enjoy it. You know, it's just what's out there, and then they come in all form. They come at 34 years old, 24 years old, and 14 years old. They're out there in all age groups. And you got to be prepared for this mess. You got to be prepared to dig deep. This is, when you get up in the ring, you're standing there, you're by yourself. See, when you're in the middle of the ring and you got all eyes on you, that's nerve-wracking enough in this sport. So I dig deep, I raise hell, I get on people's asses, and it's because what I see is pure asinine. I see children. I see people that don't know their ass from a effing hole in the ground go and start telling others what they should be doing and shouldn't be doing, and they have no idea what they're doing themselves. Ain't got a clue as to what's going on. I boxed in the 70s. I was not Mr. Great. I was a lower weight class. Nothing like a heavyweight like Joe. I was smaller. But I fought. See, I fought. I'd get up in there almost every time. I'd be like, what have I got myself into here? Why do I do this? I competed in Taekwondo as well, which is nothing compared to boxing. At least not for me. I'm not putting down Taekwondo. You get up in that ring and you got everybody's looking at you. See, I had a mother who her brother was a great Major League Baseball player. And my mother would push me harder than any of the men. She'd like, kick his ass. I don't want you to come back. You ain't coming back to the house if you don't kick his ass. He's pushing, see. That's what you got to do in the boxing. In badminton, soccer, and volleyball, maybe you don't have to do that. Surfing, I don't know. I can't do none of those things. So I'm not putting them down. But I'm saying maybe you can do I don't do none of those things. I wouldn't be no good at those things. But you got to get your head straight. Keep your mind off of what everybody else is doing and keep it on what you got going on. Look, I've been watching a kid who Joe and I love for about 3 years now. I'm telling the whole world, watch this young man. Watch this young man. I'm telling you all, I know what I see. I know what's going on here. I know what's developing here. Everybody's saying, oh no, you ain't right. I don't see that. You know, I just saw this guy hanging out with Bud Crawford this weekend. Did you hear that? This guy that I have communication with his dad all the time, a lot, you know. I kept telling his dad, your kid's destined for greatness. And nobody in the vicinity's really seeing it. His dad's seeing it. I'm seeing it. But everybody ain't seeing what he and I see. And I kept telling everybody, y'all watch. So he's a step closer now. He's hanging out over there with Bo Mack and hanging out with Bud Crawford, working with these guys. See? You be careful who you come and you start pushing and poking and prodding when you don't know what the hell you're doing yourself. You be real careful with that. You understand? Because number one, I'm damn near 100-year-old. I don't care if anybody thinks I look foolish. I do not care. It's important for the rest of you to understand that. Y'all can think anything in the world about me. It's irrelevant to me. I'm that damn old. I mean, and I'm that mature that I got so many problems myself, I could care less what anyone else is thinking. And number two, I never push, poke, or prod until somebody comes here and push and pokes and prod. And if you want to come be critiquing on us, I'll give it right back to your ass. I know what I see. I knew before failure comes your way, I've already seen it happen to you. I've already seen it happen. So be careful. So that's my little bullshit talk. And that's it. So take this. Young fighters, you got to harness your fear. You have to harness it. You do not want to conquer it. You do not want to conquer your fear. You want to take that fear, get it packaged up, that it serves you, that you overcome it, and use it to the benefit of your fight game, and it will make you bigger, stronger, and faster every time. Fear drives a man in combat sports excellently when it's harnessed properly. Don't you forget that.